Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am back with another episode of my What If Pokemon Were in Monster Hunter series, where I take Pokemon designs and I redesign them to what I think maybe what they would look like if they were actually in Monster Hunter. This seems to be a pretty popular thing on my channel here, so as long as y'all keep wanting this is what I'm keep doing for you here. So we're working on Houndoom first. As you can see, I'm going through the sketch. I have some references up there from Lunagaron, who's a monster from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. It's actually one of my favorite new monsters that we got from that game. That, Lunagaron, Malzeno, and Garango. I'm a fan of all three of those monsters, so I liked picking a Pokemon here like Houndoom where I could reference Lunagaron and sort of incorporate aspects of it into its design. I just felt like it worked out well. So as you can see here, I finished up the rough sketch. Now I'm just cleaning it up a little bit. What you'll also see with all three of these designs I do in today's video, I'm starting to put a little bit more time and detail into these designs, whereas like when I first started off the series, I was just kind of loose sketching it, just brainstorming. You know, it wasn't going to be like a big series or anything, but now that it's like the main thing I do on my channel right now, I wanted to put a little bit more detail into the design. So in general, like, they're taking me a little bit longer to draw because I'm just cleaning them up extra, and you'll see like I'm starting to add all these little scales and such, which typically I don't ever do with my with my drawings, but since this is like an official thing on my channel now, and you know, all my new subscribers I got here came because of this sort of content, you know, I figured I better step my game up a little bit here. So you'll see, like, through this time lapse here alone, like the length of it is actually a little bit longer than some of my previous designs, because, you know, hey, it's gonna take me a little bit extra time here putting all these details in. So in terms of the concept here, honestly, it was pretty easy for me to redesign it. You know, I didn't really have to think too much of things that change. You know, Houndoom's got a pretty cool design. All I really had to do was just kind of up the details and then do like typical Monster Hunter fashion, more spikes, more scales, all that kind of stuff. So you can see like those sort of bone rib cage looking things along Houndoom's back. I just kind of, you know, amplified them into like a make it look sort of like a armored spinal column type of thing. The horns, I even added extra spikes there. You can see all the little scales and everything. Yeah, not a whole lot of thinking, I guess you could say, that I had to do to come up with any sort of crazy ideas when I was designing this one. In terms of like the fight or how it would go in Monster Hunter, think of it similar to like a Lunagaron or an Odogaron. You know, it's a canine type wyvern where it'd be jumping around all over the place, and it's got that spear tip on its tail, so it'd be doing like a lot of stabbing attacks with that. Yeah, just it'll be like a pretty cool fun fight, especially just to break those bony armor plates off, just like any monster. I feel like a monster that has a lot of armor on it, you know, those are really fun to fight in general in Monster Hunter, just because you can just crack those things, man. It's always so satisfying breaking pieces off of monsters. So any type of creature that, you know, has like some hard bony armor, I think would be fun to wail on, especially if you got like a hammer or something. So here I'm just throwing on the colors and everything. You'll see that towards the end of it, just to add up a little bit of extra flair to it, I throw in some like orange tips onto, like orange glowing sort of tips to its horns there, just to, I don't know why I did it. I just felt like it was cool and just kind of break up some of the color palette there. So yeah, this is Houndoom. I'm pretty happy with the design. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, so let's I don't really have much to say, so I'm just gonna let the rest of this drawing play out here, and then once it's done, we'll wrap it up, and then I'll jump over to the next design. So I'll see you in a bit. And there you have it, Houndoom, the Hellhound Wyvern. Monster class is a fanged wyvern. Its element is fire, obviously. Ailments are none, and weakness is water. I kind of thought about maybe doing ailments as like bleed or something, just because it's got like the spear attack, but I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't want to give it, you know, too many things it could throw at you. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's it for this design. Now let's hop over to the next Pokemon that I will be redesigning in today's video. Alright, so now we are on to Metragross. This is a Pokemon I've been wanting to do for a while now, just because I felt like it was an interesting challenge to take on, since it's not like a dragon or dinosaur or something kind of obvious, you know, that would translate to Monster Hunter. So when I was originally kind of going through a list of, you know, just like my own ideas for Pokemon, you know, I skimmed over Metragross and I was like, that might be a pretty cool design that I could do and make it into like a Neopteran, you know, like Celtis Queen, as you saw earlier. That was like my main reference from Monster Hunter that I used with this design. And really, this design, when I was drawing it, it kind of came through pretty quick. I didn't really have to change many things or have many different drafts or anything. I just kind of had one idea and it just kind of took shape, and I went with it, you know. So you'll see here this drawing process here is super short, just because like I was just kind of like just on autopilot going through it pretty fast actually. The only thing I couldn't quite figure out was like how I want to do like its mouth. So you see here I just kind of ended up keeping it like this closed type of look, because I don't know, it just kind of looked a little silly when I had it open. Yeah, this is a pretty cool switch up for a design here. You know, I like having some things that are a little bit different versus the prototypical, you know, dinosaur type of monster here. So for ecology or anything, it would be like a cavern inhabiting creature. Maybe even in like desert terrains or, you know, mountainous areas it could also hang out in. Its fight would be super fun. It'd be a break fest, you know. Hammer mains would have a lot of fun wailing and breaking all of its claws and armor pieces and all that kind of stuff, or your gun lances, or anybody who's got a lot of explosions. I feel like it'd be really fun to tear this thing up and take its armor pieces. And honestly, kind of even though it's like you can see like there's some like crab shape in its body there, it kind of even, something about it kind of looks like a Japanese style like samurai something. I don't know if it's like the kind of cross on its face or what. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the armor set would kind of be a little bit more of like this armored Japanese style samurai type of fit. So yeah, you can see the completed card I have here. Metragross, the Iron Claws. Monster class is Neopteran. Element none. Ailments would be stun. And weakness is fire, of course, because in Pokemon, Metragross is a steel type and it's weak to fire. So there's the completed design here. And now we will move on to the crown jewel of this video. So let's get that started next. Alright, and now we are on to Rayquaza, one of the most popular Pokemon of all time, I'd say. Definitely top 10. Not sure if it cracked like top 5, but you know, this is one of the most requested monsters I've gotten on this channel, and you know, it's pretty obvious I would do it eventually, especially considering I did Groudon and Kyogre in my past video, and I wanted to do Rayquaza's design in that previous video, but I didn't have it finished in time. And the way things go with YouTube, it's all about being consistent with your uploads and getting everything kind of put out there if you'd want to, you know, be in the good graces of the almighty algorithm. So I had to kind of take that little bit of a sacrifice there and not have Rayquaza in the past video, but you know, you get it now, so better late than never, right? In terms of like references from Monster Hunter that I used, I mean, kind of referenced Dalamador, obviously, because it's a giant snake, and you know, Rayquaza is kind of like a giant snake-like dragon. But I didn't really, I just kind of briefly kind of glanced over Dalamador's design, and then kind of after that I just kind of went and did my own thing here. Actually, one of the snakes in the real world that I used for reference on this is the what's called the African bush viper, right? I think that's what it's called, African bush viper. That's a really cool looking snake here. So you could, if you school of that, and then you look at like its like head shape and everything, and that's kind of, you can see what I incorporated into Rayquaza's head here. This one was it was fun to draw, but it was a little bit intimidating just because, like I said, I'm trying to do a lot more details and scales and stuff, and it's just got this long noodle body, and having to put all these little baby scales throughout the whole thing, and then plus just all the long strokes and everything when you're drawing, just because it's, you know, this long S shape type of thing. You know, it's just one of those things. But when you're drawing this, it just takes, anybody who draws, like, you know, like this type of art will take longer. So it's a little bit of a grind, and it can get tedious, but I will say the end result, like, I'm super proud of. One of the things I had problems, or not even problems with, just had to put a little extra thought into, was like how I wanted to do on Rayquaza. It has like those little segments where they're I don't know what the hell you would classify those things are. They're not wings, like they're little fin type of, membrane, whatever, I don't know. So I didn't really know how I wanted to approach that with the Monster Hunter style design. So I just kind of went with sort of membrane looking wing type sail things there, you can see. Because I just wasn't sure how I wanted to, how else I could do it. Like, would I make it like kind of like those gliding, what are those one lizards called? Like this, what the hell are they called, man? There's like little gliding lizards, like, you know, in between like their armpits or whatever. Yeah, there's kind of those little membranes. I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of make it look like that. I don't know. I thought like it might look kind of silly, so I just went with the stereotypical kind of fin-like wing type things there. And as you can see, just a lot of scales on it, you know. But really, I think the design comes together once I do the colors. That was probably like the most fun part, was figuring out how I want to do. You'll see, like with the colors, there's like one thing in particular. So on Rayquaza, those little segments that are broken up, you can see like there's the little black lines or whatever they are. So you'll see how I end up incorporating that once I color it as well. In terms of the fight, this would be a giant ass monster, kind of like how Kyogre and Groudon were when I designed them. So I figured it would kind of be, maybe it could be like a multiple phase type of fight or something, because Rayquaza obviously is gonna be flying around and everything. So maybe like the first time you're engaging it, like you're on top of like an airship or something, and you're kind of fighting it, or you're following it along, and while you're kind of flying back to where its domain is. So like in Pokemon, it was the what was the name of the place? It was called just the Sky Tower, or what, where Rayquaza would roost at. I forget, but I thought maybe for Monster Hunter it could kind of be like a similar thing, where you have to find the Rayquaza on airship, and you're chasing after it, and you're kind of fighting it, doing whatever you gotta do, and eventually it leads you back to its like Sky Tower, and then maybe like your ship crashes, and then you gotta ascend to the top of this tower, and you're fighting it on the very top of it, and like the tower's so high up into the mountains and the clouds that you know, it's like snaking in, like, so you're so high up, right, and there's just a bunch of these clouds around you can hardly see, so almost the clouds act like water, where it's like coming in, like it's like coming in and out and diving in and out of all those clouds, where you can see it and then not see it, just as like a dramatic type of, you know, cool spectacle type of scene before, like, you know, you end up fighting it and everything. So that was just kind of a concept I had, but you can see here like the colors there. I just think it looks freaking cool. Yeah, so yeah, don't really have too much else to say about this here. I think the design is just about finished, so we'll wrap up the card there. I threw on the size comparison next to Blastoise, just because like I said, to be a very large monster, so you wouldn't really be able to see the human there in comparison. So we have Rayquaza, the Emerald Sky Serpent, monster class Elder Dragon, element Dragon, ailments Dragon Blight, and weaknesses Ice and Dragon. So yeah, that's it for this video, folks. Do me a solid, if you like it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you have any Pokemon you might like to see, put it down in the comments below, and maybe I'll get to it. If you want a for sure 100% guarantee that I will redesign whatever Pokemon you'd like, any super thanks donation of $10 or more, I will be sure to do that design for you in the future. Actually, the next video I got here, I have a super thanks donation that I will be redesigning in the next video that you guys will see probably in about a week or so. But yeah, that's it for me in this video, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.